I am Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years, and today I have my special guest. She is a proud UC Berkeley alumna, devoted wife, mother, finance professional, and the author of the children's book, Alina the Super Saver, no other than Miss January Liddell.
Perfect. Yes. Hello. Aloha, Daniel. Thank you for having me on here.
Yes, and Miss January, can you please introduce yourself?
Can I? Oh, I'm sorry. I lost what you said. Did you say introduce yourself?
Yes, please.
Oh, aloha. My name is January Liddell. I live in the islands of Oahu, Hawaii, and I am, just like Daniel said, I am a UC Berkeley alumna, wife to a retired soldier. I have two amazing children, a son and a daughter, and I am, amongst many other things that I do, a mother, a wife. I'm a financial professional and a podcast host of Sexy Freedom Media Podcast, and now a published author of Alina, the Super Saver. So I'm really excited to share this book. This is actually my first podcast talking about this book on another platform other than my own. So I'm really excited to be here.
Congratulations, Miss January, because this podcast is for you, is to empower writers, authors all over the world. Can you share to us your experiences at UC Berkeley?
My experience at UC Berkeley.
Yeah.
Well, I loved being there. I love college. It was a time of freedom and a time of just opening my mind, opening my my outlook in life, and just a lot of different experiences. Really enjoyed going there, so much so that I have inspired my son ever since he was little to attend Berkeley. So he's now 15, and ever since he was 3, I've kind of planted it in his mind to go to UC Berkeley. So that's his dream school, is to go there.
Yes, and thank you for sharing your experiences. So, what are the key elements of a successful children's book as Alina the Super Saver?
Okay. So, I guess I'm going to start from when I first was inspired to write the book. So, um, when I had my son, he was 6 weeks old when my husband left for a deployment, and my husband tried to get out of that deployment, but yeah, he couldn't. He wasn't able to. It's a slot that he needed to fill, and so at 6 weeks old, I'm a new mom. He's a new dad. We have this newborn baby, and my son left. And so as a new mom, I'm like, what do I do? And I felt it was important to read books to my son at a young age. So at 6 weeks old, I was starting to read books, and I had a routine with him. And as I was reading these books to him, even um, as far as to my daughter as well, because I was reading books to my daughter, I always felt this need or this urge to write a book, a children's book, so my children can read it themselves. But 3 years ago was really when I proclaimed out loud that I wanted to write a children's book. And at the time, I was in the health and wellness industry. So I was a health coach and really enjoyed that industry, because, as you know, our health is wealth, and it's really important for me to be able to eat healthy, to think healthy, so mind, body, soul. And I've also transferred that same thoughts to my children. But as I went into the finance industry, I'm realizing that a lot of us were not taught financial literacy when we were children. And so it's important for me to teach young children and to impart that that sense of urgency or that sense of wonder about money matters. Because I think as a child, for me, we were taught a scarcity, like to have a scarcity mindset. And for my children and children all over the world, I want children to feel that money is flowing, it's there, and I want to teach them, how to manage it wisely. So hence, March 7th, sorry. Yeah, March 7th was when I decided to write this book, Alina, the Super Saver. I said, and I posted it somewhere on Facebook. I said, I'm writing a children's book. This is the day. And I finally wrote it. The following week, I found my publisher, Teresa Velarde of Book Endeavors, Authentic Book Endeavors. And then I found my illustrator, Haruni, and she is from Sri Lanka. So I'm super happy to have this team, because the team is the one who helped me bring Alina to life. Sorry, that was a very roundabout way of answering your question, but that's how it started.
Congratulations,
Thank
Miss
you.
January. So, what themes are most effective for engaging young readers?
What themes?
Yes.
What themes? For me, I love Disney, and I feel like Disney is such an eye-catching, animation, eye-catching. Everybody knows Disney, right? So for me, it was important for me to have vibrant colors. Um, I love the color yellow. I think yellow is a very eye-catching color, and it's a happy color. And the bee, why I chose the bee, it's kind of a inside thing between a friend of mine. She created this trailer for me, and she calls me Queen Bee. Her name's Angelia, so I'm gonna drop her name. And she called me Queen Bee, and she created this beautiful trailer for my speaking engagement to children. And so the theme that I chose for my book are colorful, vibrant. Of course, I have Hawaii because Hawaii is where I live, and it's so beautiful here, and I just wanted to share that part of the world with everybody else. Um, and also in the book is my faith and my love for God. So those were the key themes amongst, financial literacy is Hawaii and my faith, vibrancy, and a touch of Disneyfied, if you may. Yeah, and those are the themes that I chose for Alina the Super Saver and the Honeymaker series. Since this is not the only book that I'll be writing several more.
Okay, looking forward for those series of children's books. So, how did you make your story both entertaining and educational?
So how did I make it entertaining? I want to say that in the book, it's a moment where a lot of us, children and adults alike, can relate in terms of when we go out shopping, there are certain things that we want. And for most children, because I have two children and they're always telling me, Mommy, I want this. Mommy, I want that. So there's always something that we want, right? And so for me, I feel like children and adults alike will resonate with that type of wanting to get something. And obviously, it's not free. We have to pay for that. So it's a story of resiliency. It's a story of thinking outside of the box. Um, and as far as like entertainment wise, I feel like I'm a funny type of person, and I feel I have a good sense of humor, and I feel like um, the words that I have in there are going to either plant seeds or they'll resonate with the readers. And so I do have a glossary in there. I have money facts. I have money affirmations as far as the educational piece. So not only is the story very very cute and very inspiring. But it's also a story. It's also a worksheet, if you may. I mean, there's a glossary, money facts, and money affirmations.
Interesting. But before we go on, let's shout out our listeners. According to my ranking tops for the last 30 days, because in New Zealand, I got 81. Got 81 on the Apple chart. Tanzania at
Wow.
93, Egypt at 117, Moldova at 126, United Kingdom at 159, Bahrain at 190, Poland at 191, and Mexico at 215. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast, because this podcast is created to empower writers, authors all over the world, like Miss January Liddell. So, what strategies can you use to create relatable and memorable characters in your children's book? Alina the
What?
Super Saver.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question?
What strategies can you
Mm.
use to create relatable and memorable characters in Alina's the Super Saver?
Oh, what strategies did I use to create memorable characters? Alina actually was born from my daughter's name. So my daughter's middle name is Alina. She is actually the one who inspired me to write the book. She's still 8. She's a young one, and so I wanted her to be able to hold this book. And so the character there are 3 characters in this particular book, Alina, and it's her mom, and it's another character, and I don't want to bring it out because I want you to actually read the book, but they're bees. So Alina is a bee, and bees for me are important in this world. It's vital that we have bees, and there's a kind of a shortage of bees as well, and so I think it's important for me to introduce the character bee, and then in the next book that I'll be writing called Dynamo's Spending Spree, it's a little duck. So it's a little yellow duck. He's in his Hawaiian shirt, and then several books later, I am actually introducing some of my daughter's friends. So some of my daughter's friends will be the inspiration for the different characters, and the different characters will be animals from Hawaii. So um, like a gecko, like a mongoose, like a nene bird, a honu. Honu is a turtle. And then there's a humu humu nuku nuku apua'a, so that's the state fish of Hawaii. Um, so that's my inspiration. Those are my strategies, is that I'm going to be introducing Hawaiian animals into the book.
Yes, looking forward for those Hawaiian books. Miss January, so what role does rhyme and rhythm play in children's books, especially for younger readers?
So, in a lot of younger books, such as like storyboards, storyboard books, and stories for like Cat in the Hat, right? Those are. It's important to have the rhyme in some cases, because it builds it builds this repetition, or it builds this kind of rhythmic type of way of listening. It's almost like a song. And but for mine, I don't have like a rhythm, it's not rhyming in here. It's more storytelling. But definitely, like, rhyming would be great for younger readers, I feel. This one is particularly for ages 5 to about 10. Um, yeah, and it's more of storytelling.
Yes, indeed, the storytelling, people. So before we go on, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, Food 101, our fourth season with Chef Alessandro, one of the best executive chef or specialty chef in one of the five-star hotel in downtown Toronto. Please do listen to our latest episode. We talk about prosciutto e Milano, one of favorite, best appetizer of Italian cuisine, most especially for summer, summer, summer. And please do purchase our culinary courses, people, available already. So please do support our culinary courses if you are willing to learn how to create a delicious food. We have a lot of volumes that we are offered. Volume 1 basics, volume 2 fundamentals, volume 3 principles. Those will guide you how to create a delicious food. So,
Mhm.
Miss January, what are some tips for creating an appealing cover for a children's book?
Well, you got to find the right illustrator. So there are so many wonderful, talented people out there. I belong to a group called Children's book author illustrator on Facebook, and I may have butchered that name, but it's a Facebook page. So that's probably the first tip: is be on some type of a page, a group page where there are authors, illustrators, publishers, editors. That way, you can gather some ideas and tips from them, and then start perusing through that page and see which illustrator or illustration resonates with you. For me, I found Haruni by accident. Really, I don't remember how I completely found her, because I feel like I touched on one illustrator that I really liked. And then that led me to Instagram. And then from Instagram, I just kept like pressing different buttons, and I found Haruni. And the reason why I liked Haruni's illustrations is because not only did she illustrate in such a way that was so cute, so adorable, I felt it resembled Disney to some degree. Just so adorable, very cute. And then the other reason was she animated her illustrations, and I haven't seen that in any other illustrator. So there's a video, and I don't know if I'll be able to share, but there's a video of Alina going to the honey bank, and it's so cute because she has music with it, and you can see Alina actually flying to the honey bank.
Yeah,
So,
you can share. I'm gonna
oh,
remove the. You know how to.
oh,
Okay, wait.
thanks.
I'll just remove. Okay, you can share.
Okay, let me see how I could
Just click.
share. How do I share
Just
that?
click the share.
Um,
You're using mobile, right? You're using mobile.
yeah, I'm using
Oh, I
mobile.
don't know how to do that on
Uh,
mobile.
yeah, I apologize. I have a Mac, and so for some reason my Mac wasn't able to. Oops, my Mac wasn't able to share. I'm sorry, use
Login.
that.
Oh,
The
okay.
computer. Yeah, I wasn't able to. Like, it was black screen, so I had to use the mobile. Um. Oh yeah, darn. I don't know if I can share it. I don't. This is my first time using this platform. It's great. I thank
No,
you.
I'm inviting you again for next month to talk
Uh,
about financial issues. If you
literacy,
are, yeah,
literacy. Yeah,
literacy, financial literacy, if you are interested.
I'd love
And
to.
then
I would love
and the
to.
end, we gonna promote your book. Yes. So
Yeah.
one more question, Miss January. What are your tips for those
Mm.
aspiring writers in children's books?
I believe there are many people out there that would love to write books, period, whether it be children's or adult books. And my suggestion to you is don't wait. If you want to do it, if that's something in your heart that it's calling to you to do, make that decision. Make that decision to just start writing. It's not as daunting as I thought it would be. My publisher, Teresa, made it so easy and made it so accessible to me, to write this book. So from March 3rd up until I just put it on Amazon last week, Monday, so July 8th, that was about a 4 months to get this, printed, published, all of the above. Yeah, there's my book, and here's my book. So for my tip is just say yes. Just say yes, I will do it. And everything else will flow. That's what happened to me. It was a dream. It was something that I wanted. And then March 7th, I made the decision to write the book, and it just started flowing. Get your paper out. I'm a pen paper type of person. So if you're a pen paper type of person, or you like to write, typing, just start typing, and then find a great publisher like Teresa, and Teresa will help you and assist you with your story, and she'll help edit it. I do recommend Teresa. So if you ever need a publisher, please reach out to Teresa Velarde. Reach out to me, January Liddell, and I can help you a little bit more, and share a little bit more about how I, started. And it's not even ending. I'm not even ending this, because there's so much more to just writing the book, finding the publisher and the illustrator. But now it's marketing it. And today, actually, I'm going to certain places here on island to try to talk to the book buyer of that particular store, so that they can put the book on their shelves. So that is one thing I'm doing today. So there's a lot of tips, but I would just say just start, just make that decision and go for it.
Go, 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 people. Stop procrastinating. If you have something in mind, don't hesitate to do it. Do it, do it, do it. Because who knows, you will be one of the best in the making, like January Liddell.
Um,
So, what
thank
is
you.
your short term and long term goals in writing children's books?
Oh, great question. So my short-term goal right now is to get the book in Target, Walmart, Ross. There's a place here called Navy Exchange. It's a military store. So those are my short-term goals. And of course, marketing it to everyone on my Facebook page, Instagram. Um, so those are short-term, and along with getting my pre-orders, to everyone that bought. As far as my long-term goals are to write 7 more books. So I'm trying to write 7 more books. I like the number 8. I like the number 7. I think those are great numbers, and I feel like there's just so much to write about financial literacy, that it's really important for me to not just write one, but write several. And there's a lot of beautiful sites here in Hawaii that I'd like to include in the book. So as far as long-term goals, those are my long-term goals, is to write the 7 books to complete the series, the Honeymaker series. Um, Eventually, I'd love to do a book signing. I'd love that. I'd love to, one of the other things that I love, and this is the first time I'm sharing it, so it's very exciting. I would love to have an animation of Alina the Super Saver. So I'd love to have her as, our cartoon on TV. So that's my dream. So we'll see. We'll see what
Yes,
happens.
yes. I wish you all the best for Alina, the Super Savior. I hope there will be a series on Netflix or whatever platform, streaming platforms. Alina, the Super Savior. Just like Dora,
Yeah.
or what else? Famous children's anime for children's. So, before we go on, please do grab a copy, or please do purchase one of bestsellers audiobook. Stand tall, stand together, and they are one of the best sellers, people. Book 101 Review Volume 3. These are my 100 episodes of Book 101 Review, and I do it for an audio, so you can purchase it through Audible. Of course, my climate change book, Earth Fever, Unraveling Climate and Our Race to Restore Balance. And another Book 101 Review Volume 2 selected is a product of my Book 101 episodes on my first season. And of course, Book 101 Review, Volume 1, highly recommended. Those are my recommended books need to read to empower your life, empower knowledge. in your brain. And of course, one of my self-help book, Threads of Existence, Weaving the Tapestry of Life. And life is too short, a journey of discovery, fulfillment, and joy. So please do purchase them, people. One of the best sellers on Audible, and I hope you will like it. So, Miss January, can you please invite our listeners to support your podcast and support all your book?
Yes. Okay. So you can find me januaryliddell.com. You can find me on Facebook. I'm January Liddell, and I have a group page called Anchored Financial LLC, both on Facebook and Instagram. That's Anchored Financial LLC. Then you can also find my book, Alina, the Super Saver, on Amazon. Alina the Super Saver. And then, of course, find me on Spotify, iTunes, Sexy Freedom Media Podcast. My friend Helen and I have this amazing podcast. We're in our 8th year of creating this podcast, and just so much to learn. We just did an episode with Dr. Gretchen Guevara, who is a fellow Berkeley alumna, and she's a psychiatrist. And we talked about self-care, a lot about mind, body, and soul, and her tips and her tools that we can use to combat all the challenges in life. So please take a listen to Sexy Freedom Media Podcast.
Yes, people,
Thank
let's
you.
support Miss January Liddell, because if you support her, more podcasts, more children's books to come, and more, of course. I'm looking forward for your financial literacy book.
So
Miss January, thank you for your time.
thank you so much, Daniel, for having